Welcome, welcome, welcome. As we continue on our journey to read the entire Bible corporately, we hope that you would join us. Today we are on Genesis chapter 8. So if this is your first day, please go back after this and read chapters 1 through 7 so that you can catch up. So here we go. Genesis 8, verse 1. Then God remembered Noah and every living thing and all the animals that were with him in the ark. And God made a wind to pass over the earth, and the waters subsided. Verse 2. The fountains of the deep and the windows of heaven were also stopped, and the rain from heaven was restrained. So, can you imagine the waters from above, the torrential downpour for 40 days and 40 nights, and then also the water coming up from below, releasing at the same time for 40 days and 40 nights, right? God did not tell Noah when the water would recede, right? He just told him that it was going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights. And I don't believe he even knew that the water was going to come up from the bottom and from the top, right? So, how many of us have had that prayer, Lord, how long, right? And let's start praying for him to remember us, right? The verse said God remembered Noah. But before you pray for him to remember you, make sure there is no sin. So do whatever repenting you need to do. And repent means change, not apologize, right? And ask God to remember you. Verse 3. And the waters receded continually from the earth. At the end of the 150 days, the waters decreased. So it took 150 days for 40 days worth of water to recede, right? Verse 4. Then the ark rested on the 7th month, the 17th day of the month, on the mountains of Ararat, right? So this is eastern Turkey, Armenia, and the northwestern part of Iran. So the ark rested on the mountains or at the mountains at the 7th month, okay? Verse 5. The waters decreased continually until the 10th month. In the 10th month, on the first day of the month, the tops of the mountains were seen. So it took 3 months for the tops of the mountains to be seen. Verse 6. So it came to pass at the end of 40 days that Noah opened the window of the ark which he had made. Verse 7. Then he sent out a raven which kept going to and fro until the waters had dried up from the earth. Verse 8. He also sent out from himself a dove to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. So you see, he sent the raven. It doesn't say the raven came back and gave him anything, but so he sent the dove to see if the waters had receded from the face of the ground. Verse 9. But the dove found no resting place for the sole of her foot, and she returned to the ark to him, for the waters were on the face of the whole earth. So he put out his hand and took her and drew her into the ark to himself. Verse 10. And he waited yet another 7 days, and again he sent out the dove from the ark. Verse 11. Then the dove came to him in the evening, and behold, a freshly plucked olive leaf was in her mouth, and Noah knew that the waters had receded from the earth. Verse 12. So he waited yet another 7 days and sent out the dove, which did not return again to him any more. Verse 13. And it came to pass in the 601st year, in the first month, the first day of the month, that the waters were dried up from the earth. And Noah removed the covering of the ark and looked, and indeed the surface of the ground was dry. So it's interesting that he sent out the raven and the dove. The raven went back and forth, but it didn't bring anything back. It didn't bring any news, right? But the dove he sent came back when she could find no rest, and then also returned with the proof that Noah needed, that the waters had receded, that at least the tops of the trees were visible, right? So 5 months after the ark rested, the tops of the trees were visible, enough for the dove to get the leaf. Verse 14. And in the 2nd month, on the 27th day of the month, the earth was dried. 15. Then God spoke to Noah, saying, Go out of the ark, you and your wife, and your sons wives with you. Verse 17. Bring out with you every living thing of all flesh that is with you, birds and cattle and every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. so that they may abound on the earth and be fruitful and multiply on the earth. So going back to the original intent of the animals, right? So it was a month later that God told Noah to leave the ark. Okay? Verse 18. So Noah went out, and his sons and his wife and his sons' wives with him. Every animal, every creeping thing, every bird, and whatever creeps on the earth, according to their families, went out of the ark. Verse 20. Then Noah built an altar to the Lord, and took of every clean animal and of every clean bird, and offered burnt offerings on the altar. So this is the first place we're seeing where an altar is actually erected. And I wonder if Abel erected an altar as well when he gave his sacrifices. Verse 21. And the Lord smelled a soothing aroma. Then the Lord said in his heart, I will never again curse the ground for man's sake, although the imagination of man's heart is evil from his youth, nor will I again destroy every living thing as I have done. Right? So if God say man's imagination is evil from its youth, right, that means it's evil. Verse 22, while the earth remains, seed time and harvest time, cold and heat, winter and summer, and day and night shall not cease. So God is expressing the course of nature, that as long as the earth is here, these will do as they have been created to do, right? There is no changing it unless we change it. Okay, the earth is going to grow seeds that are planted. There's going to be harvest time. There's going to be cold. There's going to be heat. The seasons will season, right? There will be day and night. Now, we have manipulated, I believe, probably all of these at this point. But until man intervenes with God's creation, a thing will obey and do what it was created to do, right? So I want to submit that to you, that you, as a human being, made in the likeness and the image of God, that you will do what you were created to do, even though you have the choice, unlike the other things that were created. Will you do what you were created to do? So that concludes chapter 8. We will continue with chapter 9, so stay tuned. God bless.